Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Africa, and the rest of the world. Good morning. Thank God it's Friday. Yeah, I guess you're prepared for today as the end of the week and also second day of July 2021. Guess I could still say Happy New Month. You're welcome to the conversation where we bring you informative, educative, and entertaining stories from across Africa. I am Merciful Ajinomo.
And I am Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Good morning, Sagir.
Good morning, Merciful.
How are you doing? You can see my Friday look here.
I can see it. You spiced it up a little bit.
It's called a synergy, basically. Yeah.
Okay, between trad and English.
Yeah, that's
so it's
what
trad
it
English.
All right. Before we bring you development from across Africa, let's have the quote of the day.
Always remember,
this man I have creative design. We really like it, but
you deserve a break. You can indulge in a cup of 3-in-1 Cadbury Hot Chocolate. Cadbury Hot Chocolate. Indulge. Now available in the 450 grams pouch.
Now let's dive right into some stories. We begin with reps beginning harmonization of retirement age for legislative staff. The move to harmonize the retirement age of staff off the legislative houses by the House of Representatives has commenced. The bill, sponsored by the Chief Whip Mohammed Tahir Mangunu, seeks to extend the service year of legislative staff from 60 to 65 years and from 40 to 45 years of service, as against the usual civil service age of 60 years and 35 years of service.
I'm against it.
Right?
100%.
But don't you think it's better, like, they increase the retirement age
okay.
and do away with bringing people to come and serve as consultants in their 60s and 70s. So we still have 5 years extra for you to still put in service.
Okay.
Right? Okay. That's where I'm coming from. So
okay.
Every other thing, yes, it has been before the 60 years, the 35 years, but the extra 5 years gives more gap. You know, people still have so much to give. Okay. I believe when I turn 60, I'll still have so much to give.
Okay, so I understand the perspective from which you're coming. However, let me ask this question. If after adding an extra 5 years to the retirement age, they still retire after the 5 years or after the 45 or 40 years of service, and they're still taking in as consultants, because remember, a consultancy job is not tied to age.
Yes.
So even at 70, they could still come in as consultants.
True.
And remember, the longer they stay in service, you know, the more difficult it is for young people to come from behind, because remember, they are going to keep getting promoted and they are going to be the ones at the helm of affairs. What do you think is going to happen? A lot of young persons who are supposed to come and give a fresh ideas, give fresh ideas, give fresh input and everything, you know, change the system and all of that, would be denied this because you've been given an extra 5 years. Now, cumulatively, it's now 10 years, you know, to remain actively in service. An extra 5 years was added a couple of years ago. Now another 5 years is being added. The earlier these guys retire and use their minds to do other things, do businesses for themselves, you know, I mean, relax at home and you know that you're done with serving your nation and it's time for you to enjoy the dividends of this thing. The better for everybody. Exactly. So I see no reason why, you know, the National Assembly should be adding an extra 5 years.
Because it even breeds room for corruption, if you ask me.
It does, as a matter of fact. How you be in service for 40 years, 40 to 45 years? So it means you will spend your entire adult life in service. So which time do you have to relax and do other things for yourself? If you have no time to do businesses for yourself, you know, do alternative things.
True.
It means that they have no choice than to loot. Because when they finish service, they might be too old to do something else. So what do you think?
That's true. But I really do hope they all come out.
I hope so. I hope so as well. As a matter of fact, yes. So we'll go to still on the National Assembly. The Senate President of Nigeria, Ahmed Lawan, has confirmed the defection of 3 senators from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to the All Progressives Congress (APC). The Senate President read out the letter containing the lawmakers' intention to defect to the APC on Wednesday during the plenary session. They include Senator Peter Nwabushi, representing Delta North, Sahabi Yawu, representing Zamfara North, and Lawali Anka, representing Zamfara West.
You see, just the elections is around the corner.
Yeah, as a matter
It
of
is
fact.
around the corner. And this is very typical of Nigerian elections.
true.
A year, 2 years before the election, we keep seeing all these activities,
Yes,
defections
yes.
here and there and everything. And I keep asking, to what end?
Well, I feel they understand that if so long as they want to reap the dividends of a successful election, you know, they need to join
The one that we,
team.
yes.
So, and I mean, for the Zamfara legislators, I just believe it's just a ripple effect of the recent defection of their governor, you know, and that's in the person of Governor Matawale, who decamped to the APC a couple of days ago. So it is expected that him being the leader of the APC in the state, you know, a couple of persons who were with him in the PDP would do so as well by joining the APC, so that the trend continues, because nobody wants to be left out.
It's not looking like a business. That's what it's looking like now.
As a
It's
matter
not
of
to be
fact.
like a party that, you know, you have some values, some morals, some standards that you hold, and make sure everybody puts in their input, their effort to make sure that the party moves ahead. You're jumping ship to the one that you think
you're going
will
to
become
benefit
successful.
from.
Benefit
And
from.
as a matter of fact, it keeps getting clearer and clearer. People keep understanding.
Let's see how the
day by
elections
day.
turn out. Let's all see how it turns out. All right, to move over to the next story. The wife of pan-Yoruba activist Sunday Adeyemo, a.k.a. Sunday Igboho, has been abducted by the gunmen, the leader of the umbrella body of Yoruba self-determination groups, Ilana Omo Odua. Emeritus Professor Banji Akintoye has said. He said this in a statement signed by him and made available to newsmen by his communications manager, Maxwell Adeleye. The statement, with the title Yoruba Nation, elements of the Nigerian army accompanied by international terrorists hired by the Nigerian state, attacked Sunday Igboho's residence, and that was coming from Akintoye, alleged that the assailants were all dressed in military uniform and spoke French language fluently. This story has been on the front burner for, I think, a couple of hours now.
Well, there are a couple of things in the story that sound suspicious and odd.
Definitely.
First of all, the official language of Nigeria as a country is English. It's not
English,
French.
not
So
French.
to say that the soldiers who came or the people who came were adorning military uniform and they spoke fluent French, you know, just brings so many questions to the table.
Like, what's really happening?
Are
And
they
people
really
have
soldiers?
so much questions to
Do
ask.
they now teach French in the Nigerian army or in the Nigerian
Or is it
military?
even a camouflaged, you know?
Exactly. This might
group
just
of
be a
people?
sting operation by a couple of people somewhere who came adorning, you know, military uniform just to give the impression that they are soldiers. However, the DSS paraded a couple of persons who were arrested from
his residence.
same residence, yes, as well as, you know, paraded a couple of items, including sophisticated weapons, light weapons,
Bullets
as well,
and everything.
bullets, charms, and talismans, and the likes of that. So you begin to ask the question: is he coming to the media as a victim, or what exactly? Because the DSS or the Nigerian government is saying this, and he is accusing the government of this. If the government had the power or the capacity to abduct his wife, why then would they go back, you know, to arrest persons and even parade them? So this brings a lot of questions and a lot of controversies, and I believe we should just
A lot of
look
questions.
forward and, you know, hold on to as the matters
definitely.
unfold.
Definitely.
Okay. Finally, we go to. Still on crime, 8 suspected killers arrested in connection with the rape and murder of Olajide Blessing Omoumi, a 300-level student of the University of Ilorin, appeared in court on Wednesday. The spokesperson of the police in Kwara State, Ajayi Okesomi, earlier said Olajide, who they believe was first raped, was killed at a residence at Tanke area of Ilorin. However, their trial could not commence because of the inability of 3 of the suspects to produce a legal counsel.
So this story is a very sad one.
It is, as a matter of fact.
When we all heard of all of this, it is very sad. And, you know, the prayer has always been, let justice prevail, yeah? So we've been asking the 3 suspects, they were waiting for a legal counsel. But people were saying, look, we need justice to happen. We need to see people behind bars, because people can't just go around and doing all sort of nonsense in the name of trying to get pleasure or something. So I really do hope all of this is done and we get the news that,
Right.
look, this person was behind bars for like 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, or 14 and 15 years.
I hope so, as a matter of fact.
All right, that's the end of the Development Across Africa story segment of the Conversation Show this morning. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, we're taking you through the big story.
TOS TV Network mobile app is now available. You can now catch up on our breaking news, stream our programs live, watch out for the latest update on sports and politics as they unfold. You can also get notifications for our upcoming programs and events. All these on our TOS TV Network mobile app, available on Apple Store and Google Play Store. TOS TV News from Africa by Africans.
Being a journalist means in-depth analysis that unravels hidden truths, that question the status quo and fact-checks government.
These criminal elements hiding under the cloak of surveillance contractors are the APC elements.
Do you have facts to prove that? Being a journalist means waking up every day with a burning desire for peace, equity, and justice for all citizens.
We're being told that the choice you have is to take the lesser of two evils.
It means patriotism via the prism of objectivity and accountability. It means giving my platform to the masses to discuss issues that matter to them.
Some of them, if they bring budget and the budget they lose. Some of them sleep. They're going to ask how much you are on. I have it.
Thereby shaping government policies and laws. My name is Osasu Igbenegya, and I am the People's Journalist.
This is still the conversation on your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. Before we take you on the big story, let's first have the newspaper segment. And also remember, you could be part of the conversation by connecting with us on our various social media platforms currently showing on the screen. To start the newspaper segment this morning, we start with the Daily Trust newspaper, and from the very top we see FG writes Western diplomats list Kanu's atrocities. Right beside that we see fresh crisis looms as Yari Marafa rejects Buni's declaration as Matawale as leader. Beside that as well we see FG targets 900 billion naira for petrol subsidy in 2022. And for the banner headline there we see NNPC commercialized as Senate passes PIB. Three riders underneath that headline. PPPRA PF scrapped. Host communities to get $500 million annually, and reps consider OK report. There are a couple of other headlines on the Daily Trust newspaper of this morning. You could simply grab a copy of the newspaper to keep updated.
We'll move over to the Blueprint newspaper from the very top, just besides the header there. 2.8 million in 16 northern states face food nutrition insecurity. That's coming from SWAFO, and all of that can be found on page 23. The gaping headline there is Kanu will get fair deal he denied others, federal government assures. Two riders, the first alleges IPOB leader instigated killing of 60 persons in Fairmont. The second, loud security agent still silent on location of arrest. That can be found on page 6. Just under in the picture of the day there, 13 years after, Senate passes PIB amidst tension. Other stories that you can find on the Blueprint newspaper.
And we move over to the Business Day newspaper. For the banner headline there, we see Business Day at 20 going strong the way we started. Beside that, by the left, we see Nigeria struggles with poverty that private sector can fix. And underneath that, we see 20 years after, PIB now awaits Buhari's ascent. And underneath that as well, we see pension contributors get new window with Sigma's non-interest fund. And there are a couple of other stories on the Business Day newspaper of this morning. You could simply grab a copy of the paper to get a read.
And the last newspaper daily for this morning is the Nigerian News Direct. From the very top, federal government introduces new product to scale up family planning. That can be found on page 22. Just besides that, we trailed Kanu for over 2 years before his rearrest. That's coming from the federal government, and that can be found on page 21. The banner headline there talking about Igboho's house raid. DSS dares OPC Yoruba World Congress. A couple of riders declares Igboho wanted, arrests 13 supporters, recovers 7 AK-47, 3 pump-action guns, voodoo charm jackets, others. And the last is OPC YWC. Others fume and all of that can be found on page 22 of the Nigerian News Direct newspaper. We also have other colorful headlines there on the front page. Get yourself a copy of the Nigerian News Direct and read upon them. And that's much you can take on the newspaper segment of the show, the conversation this morning. We'll take a very short break now. When we return, we'll bring you the big story. Do stay.
Whatever your size, find it with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# now to get the plan that suits you. Airtel, the smartphone network.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust to provide effective relief and is gentle on the stomach. Try Panadol Caplets for relief from headaches, body aches, and fever. With Panadol's Optizorb formula, the tablet gently breaks down in the stomach, quickly absorbs, and starts providing pain relief in 15 minutes. For fast and effective pain relief that you can trust, try Panadol Caplets. This has been Medifact for Panadol.
It is still the conversation on your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television, and you can be part of the conversation by connecting with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram on our various social media platforms, as well as watch us live on our website at www.tostvnetwork.com. You could also watch some of our programs on YouTube at TOS TV Network. Do not forget to like and subscribe. It is the big story, and today's focus is going to be on the passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill. So 15 years later, the passage of the PIB and its implications. And with us this morning to talk about this as well as other issues via telephone is Mr. Alester Wilcox, and he is the Vice Chairman of ICANN Lagos Chapter. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, Mr. Alester.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Yes, sir. So what does the passage of the bill bring to the table at the moment?
Well, I'm sure it's still a rude shock to a lot of people. I can say even myself, I was shocked when the news broke that the Senate has passed the bill. Like you said in your intro, it's a 15-year journey that started from the administration of, I think, from sometime President Obasanjo made it, and it has been going back and forth in the National Assembly. Finally, it has been passed. Well, we hope that, I'm sure there's going to be a harmonization committee because there are some aspects within the two chambers of the National Assembly that are not yet harmonized. So I will expect that the harmonization committee will be set up to, again, resolve those areas that are differences between the two chambers of the National Assembly. And then it goes for assent. Well, I wouldn't say Uhuru yet until the bill is assented to by the president. There is still going to be some other horse trading behind the scene. Like I said, this bill is one bill that every Nigerian, I'm sure a lot of Nigerians have forgotten. I have lost count of how many times I have to talk about the PIB. I've lost count. I've lost touch with even some of the major details. Now that it has been passed, some of us will now try to get the versions that we have passed and then to find out the issues that are in and how to address them. But right now, it will go for a harmonization committee for it to be harmonized and then finally passed before a clean copy is sent to the president for assent.
Can we talk about the implications, the advantages of this bill when it's been assented to, and throw more light on the economic implications?
Well, the oil business, the business of oil in Nigeria that has always been very oily, now have one legislation rather than pieces and pieces of legislation that governs all the aspects of it. That is as far as regulation is concerned. Before now, we have various bills that govern the oil industry. Right now, all that has been brought into one. So there's one single document that everybody, that will be a referral point for everybody. There is now going to be more transparency in how the businesses is being conducted. NNPC will play a minor role now because most of the powers of NNPC will have been stripped of it in the bill. Like I said, I have not seen the final copy, so I do not have the nitty-gritty of it. And one of the objections, one of the issues that has remained this thing was the role of NNPC, but I think that should have taken a very big part of the bill to define the role of NNPC. Well, the take homes is the fact that the host communities now have what they are looking for, a percentage of the revenue that would be to the host community, and that's why I said harmonization of the bill. While the Senate version talks about 3%, the House of Reps version talks about 5% of the revenue of oil companies going to the host communities. Now, like I said, I've also not seen the bill to know what is defined as host communities. Host communities always have issues. I don't know how the bill has addressed that host community issue. So there's going to be more money available to those communities that has the hit. So apparently, one will expect that larger development will come better if those resources are well managed. But me, I have my fears because if the current revenue allocation formula gives oil producing states 13%, and as of today, we do not know what that 13% is used for. When additional money is being made available to the in quote host communities, I really wonder if those money will be made very, very useful to them, or if it is under bottleneck. I do not know the safeguards. I've not read to know the safeguards that are in. Like this news broke yesterday, and I would pick up the copy of the bill and see how I can look at all the areas that will affect, so that we can have an informed opinion. So that when the bill is assented to, we know what is assented to and what impact it will be for everybody as far as oil industry in Nigeria is concerned.
Okay, so sir, just a couple of questions here very quickly. So I would want to ask, what other expectations do we have, should we expect from the bill as passed now, and then should we expect that it should have a mechanism to tackle corruption, like you shed light on 13% allocation to communities and not knowing what that 13% is used for. So should it be expected that the bill has a mechanism for checking corruption, as well as what other expectations should you have?
Oh, sure. Like I said, it's one piece of legislation that everybody has made contribution into, and one of the major areas of concern is this area of corruption in the oil industry. Excuse me. Corruption is rife in the industry. Sharp practices are rife in the industry because there are various pieces of legislation that hitherto have governed, has provided the governance framework of the oil industry. NNPC has been like an omnibus organization that people have always talked about unbundling and rebundling or scrapping or whatnot. Now, I expect that bill should have taken good care of that proposition. What is going to be the role of NNPC? NNPC is seen as the test peak of corruption in this country. So the bill should have addressed, if that bill didn't address squarely the role of NNPC, powers, limitations, then I think we still have a long way to go. I am delighted the fact the speed within which the Minister of State, the government, this is a bill that has passed through three governments, and everybody seems not to know what they are doing about it. But I'm delighted that this government has taken the bold step, and the Minister of State for Petroleum has played a very big role in seeing that this bill is passed. So I think the government has interest in it, and one of the cardinal objectives of this government is to address corruption. And so if the bill does not have proper mechanism to address corruption within the system, within NNPC, within NAPIMS, the role of NNP, the role of NAPIMS, the role of other regulators within the industry, and then the role of the players, the NOCs, their roles their responsibilities. Now, when you are making money available to host communities, so to say, what are the safeguards? The bill must address those issues. The issues of safeguard of that money. Is the money again going to end up in the hands of governors, or the money will go directly to a well-considered agency or body within the host community framework, and then this money channeled squarely to developmental effort rather than being shared? I trust. I mean, I'm from Niger Delta. I know what happens there when money, when it has to do with money. Everybody is no people are not interested in development. They're only interested in how to cut the cake and eat and spend it on luxurious cars, building houses, marrying women, and all whatnot. That is that is principally because a lot of money has gone into that region with nothing to show for it. So this bill, I believe, in all honesty and sincerity, that it should address those factors. As an accountant, sincerely, I am at pain. I'm pain sometimes when this issue of corruption is so ripe and there are legislative frameworks that is not able to address it. And so, as an accountant, what are you going to? What is going to be a role when the legislative framework is there, but largely ignored? Even if you have an opinion, there are accountants that are giving opinion, wide ranging opinion on issues of corruption, on issues of governance in terms of corruption and fiscal allocations. But yes, nothing has happened. So the bill should be able to address and squarely address those issues so that there will be serious sanctions, there will be serious repercussions where the tenets of the bill is not being addressed.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Alesta. We're out of time here. Thank you for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alesta.
It's been a
huge pleasure. It was my pleasure. Anytime, I'm always available.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much, viewers. Don't forget you can always be a part of the conversation and all of our other programs on TOS TV Network by joining our social media community and following us across all our social media platforms showing on your screen. We also have our website on the screen right there, www.tostvnetwork.com, to live stream our programs, and also like and subscribe to our YouTube page, TOS TV Network, so you don't miss out on our amazing content. All right, thank you again for joining us. I am Merciful Ajinomo.
And I am Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for watching and see you next week.